Good evening and welcome to Knight Stadium in Sunshine. A very historical, wonderful stadium, big part of football in this state and in this country over the years, as Melbourne Knights host in the Victorian Premier League men's competition a round 11 match against Kingston. And the Knights 7 wins, 3 losses in third position on the table, while Kingston just 1 win for the season. But ironically, they've never lost to the Knights in their 2 years in the top division in the Premier League. They've been in this top division now their third year. And ironically, their only win this year was against South Melbourne, the arch rivals of the Knights, who the Knights got beaten by. So understand that, but that's football. That's why we're looking forward to tonight's game. My name's Dan Lonigan. Great to be with you. My co-commentator is football journalist, long-time media manager for Green Gully, Katie Lambeski. Katie, great to have you with us. Looking forward to tonight's match as we broadcast from the quaint old grandstand here at Knight Stadium.
Fantastic to be on the quarry side of the field at the historic Melbourne Knight Stadium. A big match, an opportunity for Kingston to rebound and try to get some momentum this season, try to get themselves on track, while the Knights, obviously with the big win last week against Green Gully, 2 goals in quick succession from Tommy Ushcock and Hamish Watson that saw off a pretty late challenge from Green Gully, and they're looking to continue that momentum here tonight. It's a big game as we are all set to get underway.
We sure are. And the crowd building up here at Sunshine at Summer Street. And we're looking right across at the Mark Viduka Lounge. As we know, a lot of famous footballers have plied their trade here and underway. And it'll be defended stoutly out of defence by Jovanovic for the Kingston team. And there's an offside straight away. So they'll defend at the back, Kingston. And they've got a little bit of work to do as they try and clear their defensive area through Daniel Bennett. And now they get it towards the halfway mark now. And they're not able to keep control of it. And now here's a chance for the Kingston team to try and defend stoutly if they can. And the ball goes over the sideline. So opening minute. What are you liking so far, Katie?
Kingston looking forward to getting forward early on, trying to put some early pressure on the Knights. Early exchanges so far, but an early chance to put some momentum, get some energy behind them so far, so the ball goes in.
Yes, and it's cleared at the back. And now the Croatian team, or the Melbourne Knights team, I should say. I thought they'd be wearing blue and the opposition to be in red. But anyway, they've now got an opportunity to drive long, and they've got a goal in the opening minutes. Great start by Croatia, and it's come from the boot of Albano. Albano has scored from outside the area. They've gone forward once in the opening couple of minutes, and Gian Albano has scored his 5th goal of the season as they brought it down the left-hand side, and they score straight away. It's Melbourne Knights 1 and Kingston Reds yet to score.
Huge goal there. Albano tucking that home really superbly to that left side of the net. Lashed it home, and the keeper didn't have any chance. Just perfect finish there from range. Brilliant, from close range. Brilliant start for the Melbourne Knights.
Now, Kingston defending at the back, and they're defending at the social club end of the ground. And they head down the left-hand side now. Knights have got players at the back. And there's a long ball that comes in, but it goes right across the goal face. And it'll be a goal kick. And it'll be taken by Katsurun, the goalkeeper of the Melbourne Knights, who scored in the first minute through Albano. And they're away. Now, I don't know about you, Katie, but those numbers are a little bit hard to see for the Kingston team because they've got grey jumpers on with white numbers. It's a nightmare. We'll work through it. We'll do our best. We haven't got a choice, have we? So it'll be brought back in by the Melbourne Knights as all players flood towards the halfway mark of the pitch. It's a long, long ball, and it's headed down. Good play by Damien Yaconis, who's their leading goal kicker at Kingston, but it comes out the back again, looking to build up an opportunity very close to the line, and it's pushed across, and again there was a chance for a shot on goal by Franjic, but he had it knocked over the byline, and it's going to be a corner kick taken by the Melbourne Knights in the opening couple of minutes, as Franjic was looking to try and volley it and had it closed down, and Corey Sewell with all the hair. Unlike me, he'll take it from the corner for the Melbourne Knights. Plenty of depth on it, and it's headed down and headed over the crossbar. Another corner, defended stoutly by Kingston. They had to be a bit careful then because they had to try and control that header and didn't really have a lot of luck controlling it. Sewell again, a bit lower, but again deep into the heart. And once again, the header was attempted by the Knights at the top of the box, but it goes over the byline. So it's 1-0 in the first 5 minutes in favour of the Melbourne Knights, looking for their 8th win of the season to stay in the top 3. While Kingston have had a tough old season so far, just the 1 win, 2 draws and 7 losses. And they've conceded, Katie, 16 goals in their past 5 matches, so that's become an issue for them.
Massive, of course, conceding 4 last week to Bentley Greens. It's just been a tough season for them. They've had parts where they've shown bits of what they're capable of, but hasn't quite panned out for them this season. And I guess with football, there's always next week. You always get that chance to look forward to it. It's always a new chance to start again and get yourself back on track. So, I mean, they've had not an ideal start, to say the absolute least, but a chance to sort of, they've got time to work themselves back into this. Maybe a decent spell of possession on the ball, just to have some control of it for just a little bit, and then build a bit of pressure back on the Knights.
Well, Jovanovic trying to control it at the back, and he brings it back now, and it goes to halfway, but it's turned over again. And Franjic, whose brother Ivan plays for Melbourne City, has played for Australia, played for Brisbane Roar, played for a number of teams. And now Sewell arrives on the ball inside the defensive half for the Knights as they bring it down the left-hand side. And that came from Bryce playing in defence. And once again, they go back, the Melbourne Knights. And cleared by Ketcherum. He brings it out to the right-hand side. And they look to control it again through Jurovic to the halfway mark now. They almost lose control inside the attacking half. Getting a little boot on that one was Hamish Watson, the leading goal scorer for the Knights this year with 7. It's close to the line. Kingston have it down the left-hand side. But again, they're losing control of it. Knights turning it over once more. It's with the captain, and controlling it nicely is Uscock. And now a shot on goal, but he was a long way out, well outside the penalty area. And he really did miskick that one, Hamish Watson. And in fact, Albano, the scorer of the first goal, and it's missed to the left-hand side. And he didn't get anywhere near the purchase he got on the previous shot, which resulted in a goal, and still 1-0 in favour of the Melbourne Knights.
Playing very well to start with. Some good energy there from Albano and Watson, trying to put some pressure on the ball there, trying to press, trying to maintain their dominance here. They do very well at that as Franjic looks to pass, but the ball's out for a throw. Sewell to take.
So Sewell in short, Franjic back to Sewell, who's been dominant so far. They combine again, but they had too much on the pass from Franjic. Uscock issuing instructions inside the attacking half for the Knights. Told to go back and throw it again, Kingston. And the player throwing it on this occasion will be Daniel Bennett, who scored 1 goal so far this year. So Bennett will go down the right-hand side, and it's put over the sideline. Not able to control it. That's been their issue so far, keeping control. And Sakazada was the player that put it over the sideline. It's back to Corey Sewell once again. Corey Sewell, a high ball. Bennett. And they're claiming handball. Kingston, but it's not forthcoming. And again, Bennett in possession. Goes down the line once more. They've got numbers close to our commentary box. And a claim that the last player to have possession was Kingston. And that was trying to get control of it was Etheridge, their British import. Now they've got a chance to build through the middle of the park, Kingston. And this is through Irwin. Irwin does well, goes wide, out to the left-hand side. But they've got numbers at the moment and controlling it nicely, the Knights. Now they turn it over in midfield, looking for a teammate. But again, it's chopped off by Jovanovic for Kingston. And it goes over the sideline on the far side. 1-0, 10 minutes played here at Knight Stadium in favour of the Melbourne Knights.
Ball released here. Albano looking to take on a defender. Still in control of it. Holds on the ball to an emerging Ushkok who runs into the goal. Couldn't get quite a shot away as it just rolls to Hatzikortis there. Interesting to see Ushkok freed up a little bit today. Playing a bit more of an advanced midfield role with Ivan Grgic in holding midfield, trying to be that screen, protecting the back four with Ushkok a bit more free to get forward a bit. He definitely has the energy to do that, so interesting to see how that pans out for the Knights. I do like that move.
Corey Sewell working hard at the halfway, and a player got hurt. Yeah, it was Franich. Did he get it in the wrong part of his head? Maybe in the back part of his head, Cody. I've never headed before. Haven't tried to head before. I'm sure it would hurt. I don't know how these guys do it. They do it well, don't they? Second nature to them.
Absolutely at this point, but Franich is tough and he's back up and going. But you get used to it, I think, after a certain period of time, wouldn't you say?
Oh, well, if you play long enough, I haven't played at any level, so for someone like me, it doesn't really work, to be honest. Sakazada issuing instructions, but it's taken down the line by Bennett, and just a through ball. They'll start again. And Ketcherum goes wide. They've got the numbers, Melbourne Knights, combining nicely. Jurkovic back to Ketcherum, who still has it inside the defensive half of the Knights as he drove it long to the outer side. Getting plenty on that one. Trying to set something up was Bryce, but it's turned over by Kingston at halfway, and they bring it down the left-hand side, and the player in possession now is Irwin. Irwin has Sewell for company. He goes high and wide and not very handsome, right across the goal face, and misses the crossbar by a country mile, and it is out of play. 1-0 in favour of the Melbourne Knights. So the Knights will be happy with the start they got. They go forward inside the first couple of minutes, and Albano will score straight away for the 5th time this season. Hamish Watson, their leading goal scorer, with 7. Long ball from Ketcherum. There's a little bit of work to do, and saying that his team was not the last to touch it, but I think that Sakazada did head it last. He was trying to disguise it, didn't do a very good job of it. So again, Melbourne Knights in possession. Juskok receives from Sewell, and they go back to go forward, and going right across the face with his pass is Jurkovic. They bring it down the right-hand side now. They're inside the attacking half, taken by Watson. Watson spreads it brilliantly, allowing Sewell now to trap the ball. He goes towards the top of the area. Albano, the goal scorer, running out of room, goes to a dangerous area, headed away by the Kingston defence, and they try and set it up again, but once more, they've got numbers at the back, and that should nearly be a free kick, going the way of Juric for the Melbourne Knights. He was put down. And there's going to be a free kick, and it'll be taken by the... Yes, Franich will take it. He's the free kick specialist. And Franich now goes high. There's a big wall looking to protect the area for Kingston. And again, it goes off Kingston bodies, and the third corner of the night to be taken by Corey Sewell. So doing a lot of the attacking to the social club room's end of the ground as we broadcast from the old grandstand and the old commentary box. Dan Lonigan and Katie Lembeski with you on our coverage of tonight's matches. Franjic goes long. It was a nice pass to the top of the area, but again, he goes a little bit too high and long, right over the crossbar, misses everything by a country mile, and again, it's 1-0 remaining in favour of the Melbourne Knights.
You got a good shot away from there, Franjic. Really took the opportunity of that little bit of space to try and get a shot away. Nearly was aiming for that top left corner, I think, but just above the bar as Knights continue to threat from set pieces again. Corey Sewell delivering them pretty accurately. He's been doing quite well in that area as Kingston look to reset here.
He's getting them nice and deep, isn't he? As Kingston have it inside their attacking half, but turned over again by the Melbourne Knights team. Comes down the right-hand side. Franjic again looking to get it to Watson. Watson was too far on the left-hand side and again cut off by eager Kingston defence. Gee, they're having to work hard, aren't they, Katie, at the moment, that defence, after being in control for the first 90 seconds. If you can be in control of a football match for 90 seconds, they had it inside their attacking half, but since then they're doing all the defending. And Corey Sewell now with his first corner from the right-hand side, just near the grandstand here at Knights Stadium in Sunshine. And as we said, he's getting the corner kicks nice and deep, bit of curl on them. But he goes for the pass again to Franjic, but he's told to go back, try again. They need to mark Franjic at the top of the area there. He's lurking. So 1-0. That was Ivan Gergic who was looking to receive that one. So Sewell now goes low, but it's volleyed away by the Kingston defence. A chance now at halfway for the Melbourne Knights to retrieve, and they do. And in the end, they elect to go back before going forward. Bryce chests it away to Casheran, back to Bryce again. Bryce now goes into the middle of the pitch. Unfortunately, Albano waited, and he's beaten by Bennett, who turns a couple around now for Kingston. Little pass out wide. Kingston attacking nicely in towards the right-hand side, but in the road is Sewell. He forces the ball over the sideline just as they were trying to set up for an opportunity to go inside the area through the boot of Damien Yakonis, who played such a big part in their team finishing 6th last year with 11 goals. Little throw. And now Bennett across the face once more. They've got defenders at the back, the Melbourne Knights, and they're clear now. Nice header by Watson at the halfway mark. Gets it inside the attacking area. Spills to the back. Albano can't keep it alive. But the last to have it was Kingston, so Melbourne Knights in possession again in front of the grandstand, leading 1-0, and we've played nearly 17 minutes in the first half. And it goes over the sideline once more, and to throw it back into play will be Luke Juric. He goes back again to go forward, which they've done a bit of so far, the Knights. They get another opportunity, again getting numbers back inside the area, Kingston, but they put it over the sideline. They're under pressure constantly, aren't they, because of the fact that the Knights, Katie, are attacking on all occasions, especially down the right-hand side.
They're having some luck definitely down that area, trying to utilise the pace of Albano down there, trying to put him in the best possible positions, and also very dangerous at set pieces too. They definitely have the aerial threat there that can trouble Kingston. Is looking for Franjic, gets the header away, but it'll loop to Hatzi Cordes, who will look to set up again. Of course, the aerial threat of Watson you have to worry about as well. Of course, Ushkok now free to get forward as well, so something to look at definitely as Kingston look to get in behind here, but it'll fall to Casheran. Still a bit of danger, I think, there for the Knights. Can't get too complacent. I think there's still some attacking threats down, particularly down this right side from Kingston, that they've had some joy getting through there, but Sewell's done a good job so far in handling that.
Well, Etheridge is a big body there. He's a threat in the attacking half for Kingston. He's trying to get involved in the game now, but there's a turnover mid-pitch with Sewell for the Knights. Almost a slide and tackle. Good play to get it away, Bennett. He gets it towards the halfway mark now, and Kingston look to steady again through Theo, who's just been recruited from Dandenong City, and then Sewell gets it back, and they can set again through Catcherham, the goalkeeper. He has Franich once more, who chests it down, looking for support, under the pump, has to go back inside the area. Catcherham on the left, high ball inside the attacking half. Out of position, Watson, but getting in position, Albano, who's dangerous. He's near the area. Good pass to Uscock. Uscock, though, kicks into bodies, and it flares out wide again. It's very close towards the sideline. Here's an opportunity now for the Knights towards the goals, but it goes right across the face. The goalkeeper, Hatsakouris, had covered the far post, but it went over his head, but straight. There was no curl on the shot. And it goes over the sideline on the commentary side of the ground. We played 19 minutes. Melbourne Knights won, and Kingston yet to score in this round 11 match in the Men's Premier League. As the ball is in dispute inside the defensive area, or defensive half, I should say, for the Kingston team. They combine now, but it's turned over once more. Watson is dangerous. Watson will shoot, but he misses by a long, long way. And he was at least 5 metres away from the area. That was a Hail Mary shot which went along the carpet. He couldn't get enough penetration on the shot, and it misses harmlessly and goes over the byline with the score remaining 1-0 in favour of the home team, the Knights.
Still a good passage of play. Knights Knights not afraid to take the shot on tonight. Really looking forward to pepper the goals and really trying to put the pressure on that way. Seems to be working as well. Albano definitely a threat there. Again, looks to be so many players that are capable of causing a lot of trouble in an attacking sense. I mean, Ushcock's runs from midfield have given Kingston a bit to think about so far.
Very tall figure, Ushcock. Now here's a chance down the right-hand side, but good attempt to try and keep alive by Kingston, but well done by, on that occasion, Urich to try and keep it alive, and Offliff as well did well to get it back now. And they look to set up outside the area, about 10 metres outside the area. Long ball comes in. It's headed away, though, by the defence of Kingston as it came well inside the area. And they're getting a bit of pace, aren't they, down that right-hand side at the moment, the Knights. They just look a bit too quick for Kingston.
Definitely agree. Really multifaceted in the way that they're attacking. They definitely have the pace to trouble teams. Of course, Attila Offley on the right side, Albano as well, left and right, being able to drift as that second striker. As well, really versatile team. Of course, you have Franich not afraid to actually get into the box and try to be an attacking third as well as being that sort of all-round midfielder. It just seems like it's a very versatile sort of Swiss Army knife sort of team. You know, it's a lot of ways. As Watson looked to get on the ball there, but well defended there by Kingston.
Yes, they've got some big numbers at the back, Kingston, and they're having to defend very hard at the moment. Long ball comes in. Oh, gee, good play by Catcherham to come out just as his opponent was coming the other way in Etheridge, and they've collided because it was a long ball that came in from Theo. And Catcherham decided he wanted to come out the top part of the area, just on the edge of the area, and attack the ball. And he saw very, very late Etheridge. We know he's a big body, Max Etheridge, the English import. And Catcherham is down. Etheridge has got up, but Catcherham, he's not moving anywhere at the moment, Katie. So we'll have a break in play here, which means extra injury time at the end of the first half, with Melbourne Knights leading 1-0. But Harry Catcherham getting the worst of the battle there against Max Etheridge coming the other way.
Intensely brave bit of play there by Catcherham to come out and try to force the stoppage there. Really came out to try and just to end the danger there. He looks to be sitting up now, which is good. Looks to be moving. That was a really heavy fall. Nothing gave way there. Etheridge didn't take a backward step, and neither did Catcherham, and it made for a really, really solid hit there. I thought there was a hint of offside there on that one, but the linesman's flag stayed down as we'll look to reset here through Catcherham.
It was dangerous, wasn't it? Really, because and brave, because he knew that his opponent was very close to him, but he came out very close to the area. It's headed down again, And it goes over the sideline as they got into attack very quickly then the Knights. So Hatsakura some work to do again at the back as it rolled over the byline. Approaching the halfway mark of the first half, 1-0 in favour of the Melbourne Knights, and they scored in the opening couple of minutes through a Barno. Magnificent strike in their first move forward for the Melbourne Knights. Wearing red, well, their opponents wearing grey with white numbers, but I won't whinge about that much more. High ball comes in from the Melbourne Knights again. It's footed away. They look to try and control it at ground level. Theo's been pretty good so far. He turns a couple of opponents, including Yushkok, inside out, and then heads over to the left-hand side. Now they'll look to try and build it halfway. The pass is very close to the line. I thought that nearly went out in front of the members over there at Knight Stadium and near the mark for Duka Bar. And then Theo kept going, and he wasn't far outside the area as he just continued to run and run and run. But then he was running a bit too quickly, off balance with his shot, and he misses to the far side and over the byline. So, again, a legitimate move forward by Kingston as they try and get themselves into this match. Just over the halfway mark of the first half, they trail 1-0 as it's brought down the right-hand side again by the Knights. Player brought down, Franich, and there'll be a free kick just inside the defensive half for the Melbourne Knights. Building again to the social club rooms end of the ground. Again, Watson. He was shoved in the side as he tried to use his body. Not sure there was much in that. He made that a lot worse than it was. Is there simulation there?
That's a harsh call by you then. Very harsh. Forces. That's the challenge with Watson, with defending a player like Watson. He's very awkward. He's very strong, but nearly very hard to win those sorts of battles with him, and that's definitely one of his strengths. It's nice to look to load up here through Offley.
They've got the big body down there of Fatachis as the centre back, and he's doing a good job for Kingston so far. He's a very tall figure, be around 6'3", 6'4", and he stopped a number of forward moves so far for the Melbourne Knights. There's another one has stopped, and they work their way down the left-hand side. But again, Knights have the numbers. They're outnumbering them a little bit too when they're getting inside their attacking half, Kingston, by the Knights, and hence why they haven't had any really meaningful moves forward yet. A couple of shots on goal, but they've missed by a fair way, and the one decent shot was a goal in the opening couple of minutes to the Melbourne Knights. That's why they lead 1-0. Albano scoring that goal. Little pass at halfway. Looking to try and build again, just outside the area, coming in around the left-hand side. And again, a couple of lovely saves, though, by Catchellan. He did a wonderful job on that occasion. One came into his body, then another one came into his shins, and he was good enough to show wonderful reaction near that far post, the left-hand side, to be camped there to make sure that he had it covered. So, talking of meaningful moves forward, there were a couple of opportunities, half opportunities there for Kingston, but not taken. Stopped by the goalkeeper and the eager Melbourne Knights defence as they lead 1-0. A pass to the top of the area again. Here's a chance for a shot, which almost gets past Ketchum. Now there's a chance for another shot, and it's gone in at the top of the 10-yard box. Eventually, Ketchum had gone too far. He overcorrected, and it's put in by Etheridge, as it was helped by a couple of passes inside the box. And well done by Kingston against the trend, Katie. They've levelled at 1-1 inside 30 minutes.
Against the run of play, as you correctly point out, Max Etheridge taking advantage of that little bit of space. Catcherun, just a little bit tripped up by that shot, was able to get the parry one save away, but had a couple of Kingston players there lurking at the near post to bury that one home, and Etheridge does just that to equalise for Kingston. Massive goal in the context of this game. They're back on level footing. Have to say that was against the run of play, as the Knights look to go forward again for Franich. Watson again.
That's been the issue with the Knights this year. They've only had one clean sheet as Watson shoots. Well stopped by Hatsakouros. It was right at his body, right at his bootlaces, but it was travelling, and again he had to show wonderful reaction to parry it away, and eventually they concede a corner kick, yet another one going the way of the Melbourne Knights, to be taken by Corey Sewell on the left-hand side, on the commentary side of the ground. He's been good with these passes. Like curls to the 10-yard box. Couple of headers involved. Cleared desperately again by Hatsakouros. Shooting Franich. Kicks into bodies. Ricochets away. They've got the wall set up at the back. And again, they do well through Urich. He passes out wide. There should nearly be a free kick, I would have thought. A clumsy tackle applied by Kingston. And it will be taken by Urich over the sideline. He puts it back inside the area. But again, they've got numbers at the back, Kingston. It's 1-1, but they put it over the sideline once more, the grandstand on the far side of where we're broadcasting from here at Knight Stadium. Wonderful goal against the trend by Max Etheridge. After Katzerum, the goalkeeper, he overcorrected himself and allowed the goal to be open for it to be knocked in by Etheridge as they build again. Yushkok, he's knocked off the ball. He was tackled from behind. That could have nearly been a free kick. Now they win possession again towards the halfway mark. And a player was brought down. And I honestly thought both players brought each other down. Etheridge involved in the tackle with his opponent, Jurkovic of Melbourne Knights. And now Sewell combining brilliantly with Watson. Down the left-hand side, inside the attacking half. Goes back to Franich. Franich now unsure, he goes right across the face and gets to the halfway mark again, building through Yushkok. He goes down the middle. Here's a chance now for the dangerous Albano inside the area, but he couldn't control it. And now it'll go towards the back and roll over the byline because Offley couldn't get enough on that one either. Again, good defence from Kingston, but good attacking moves by the Melbourne Knights after they scored in the second minute. And eventually responding in the 29th was Kingston. It's 1-1 as we're almost 31 minutes into the first half.
Kingston not really looking to press the Knights in their own half. Just okay, I guess I should say, okay with being able to sit back and just sort of absorb a bit of pressure and then look to hit through the likes of Irwin, Moad Swed, who's out there, of course, and Max Etheridge bustling about trying to create opportunities there. They're just happy to sort of reset as they look to do so here, but Sewell cuts out the pass. They'll load up again through Jurkovic. A few options for Franich. Which one will he take? Sewell down the flank, looks to play it inside. It goes to Watson. Talbano. What can you do here? Such pace to burst forward. Well defended out, and it'll be look to be a corner. Or a throw, pardon me, it'll be a throw. Sewell to take.
Had a few opportunities. Sewell back inside the area, attacking it hard. Yushkok under pressure. The big man, he's got a couple of opponents hanging off him. Has to go back to go forward, as has been their case. Sewell again under pressure. Gets it run down. High ball as it came from Urich. Urich now an opportunity. Tries to shove his opponent out of the way. Under pressure, two around him. The big body of Etheridge is there again. He just shoves Urich out of the way. But Franich is still with him, well inside the defensive half. And he goes back, and now they bring it towards the outer side, Kingston. But turned over again by the Melbourne Knights. Can they make something of this move forward? Yushkok trying to get control of the ball. He got support, though, in Watson. Watson gets it now towards Albano. He's put down. There should nearly be a free kick the way of the Knights, but it's not given. And again, Kingston win possession. Irwin down the right-hand side in front of our commentary position. Has Sewell for company. Looking to go inside now. Making a good run. Now he has two opponents pressing him. Back to Etheridge at the top of the area. Had it shoved away. Still at the halfway mark again. Trying to control it. Kingston. But again, it's won by Yushkok, who's been superb for the Melbourne Knights. Goes back to Franich, back to Yushkok, back to Franich. And, well, stud up then as his opponent came the other way at him and put him down. That should have nearly been a free kick. It's turned down the right-hand side again. Melbourne Knights now with a legitimate opportunity. They can build through Watson. Down to the right-hand side, Offley. Offley's got a couple of opponents under pressure on the edge of the area. Nice dinky little pass. Headed away, though, by the Kingston defence. Back to Yushkok. What they're doing so well at the moment, Katie, is they're setting up a wall as Sewell goes wide, and Yushkok has it again on the edge of the area. Sewell's been outstanding. He's done a great job. And then Franjic is brought down front on. That has got to be a free kick. Has to be a free kick. It was a clumsy tackle. And that'll be a free kick about 10 metres outside the area as Franjic was trying to come in board from the left-hand side.
Have to admit as well, I think it's been a well-umpired, a well-refereed game, I should say, by our man in the middle there. Really, again, he's sort of let the game go on. He hasn't quite interrupted the game. He's called free kicks when they've had to be called, but he's also allowed advantage. He's called the free kicks well, and then it's allowed the game to be what it is. So it's been a quite entertaining game to be fair to both sides. It's been some quality, some really good moves in attack at times. As the Knights look to see what they can do here from the free kick. As Kingston set the wall, we've got 4 players standing over this. We've got Franic, and now we've got Albano and Sewell standing over it. The angle might suit Albano here.
The big figure of Fetagadic is sort of at the extreme right-hand side there. Albano kicks into bodies, gets it back, flicks it up now towards Sewell. Sewell, a couple of opponents to beat inside the area. Again defended well by Kingston, but it's won back comfortably by Franic. He's had a very good match so far. It's at halfway, combining now with a lovely little backheel pass by Albano, but there's no one there, and it's taken long by Fetahadic, long towards the attacking area. And again, the defence is very, very solid for the Melbourne Knights, and they've got players everywhere, and combining at the back is Bryce, who's a tall figure as well. At centre back, goes down the left-hand side to Albano, but he had it flicked away and put over the sideline. And doing the damage on that occasion is Suleimani, playing in defence for Kingston. Franic again, goes back now. Offley, a chance, goes long and high, but inaccurately. Missing to the right-hand side, didn't get enough of it. Played it off balance. That would have been a mighty, mighty goal. What was he? At least 10 or 15 metres away from the area. But he thought he'd have a shot, and they've certainly been off target with their shots on goal so far, the Melbourne Knights, after scoring in the second minute. And then there was a response in the 29th minute for Kingston through Max Etheridge after the goalkeeper overcorrected and left the goal open, and Etheridge tapped it in at the top of the box to make it 1-1. So an even game here. Hatsakouris goes wide, very wide indeed. I'm sure that was touched by anyone. Right over the sideline. And Juric will throw it back into play, just inside the defensive half of the Knights. Well volleyed by Watson, but defended again by Fetahadic. Will go up again for Kingston. Plays it down, being the tallest man in defence. Down the left-hand side. And Kingston looking to just slow it down a bit and try and switch into the middle of the park, still inside the defensive half. At 1-1. And now they're down the left-hand side. Long ball. Etheridge is still onside. He'll get an opportunity to trap it. He's got an opponent for company, and that happens to be Jukovic, and then he loses control of it. Again, they've had much more possession, and the scissor kick over his head by Watson, but there's going to be a free kick given. So they've certainly had a lot more possession, the Melbourne Knights, but they'll be a little bit disappointed with the way they've used the ball when going forward.
Haven't quite nailed that final ball into the box. I think that's because it's been kind of crowded. Kingston happy to sort of sit back and absorb the pressure that way and try to deny it and frustrate the Knights that way. And they've been able to equalise. And when that happens, it just sort of builds up that bit more resilience, that bit more confidence, and just a bit more energy, I guess, to go forward and try to perhaps snatch a go-ahead goal. But they can look to set up here, look to go for a long throw. It looks like.
Yes, there's a nice throw towards the top of the area, near where it meets with the box, but it wasn't controlled well enough by Kingston. And again, it'll be cleared by Melbourne Knights. In the 38th minute, 1-1. Long ball inside the attacking half. Waiting at the back, Albano. But in the end, good defence by Kingston. Katsouris brings it down, but again it's cut off as they've got players inside the attacking half setting up a wall, the Knights. But a little dinky pass by Franjic was chopped off again. Good play, Etheridge. Etheridge controls it to his own advantage, heads it down the right-hand side, has a teammate running onto it and doing the work is Irwin. Irwin does well, has a couple to beat, but then eventually it is conceded over the byline for a corner, and that was very good defence, and he's been pretty solid so far tonight. Bryce, who came away from his centre-back position and had to take on Irwin, who'd certainly outrun his opponent down this right-hand side in front of our commentary position. So a rare corner kick to be taken by Kingston, but they've managed to level the scores. It's 1-1, close to half-time in our coverage of the Victorian Premier League men's competition. It is round 11, the 13th place Kingston against third placed Melbourne Knights. Nice low kick, headed away again, though, by Yushkok for the Knights. 1-on-2, though, against the Knights. Franjic outnumbered. Little pass to the top of the box, but Etheridge was offside as he received that one. And it had a bit of power, the kick too from Tidmarsh. And, yep, Franjic does well to receive and bring it down the right-hand side. And he gets support too at the back by Jurkovic, one of the key defenders as they switch. Bryce again, long, high, ballooning ball. Goes close to the sideline and taken over the line at 1-1. Close to half-time. In possession again, the Knights. Back inside their attacking half. Yushkok's had a lot of the ball. Close to the sideline. Watson comes out. Parried away, though. Just at the top of the box there. Good play. He's been terrific so far. The goalkeeper for Kingston. And now they have a chance down the left-hand side. Looking to run on at Tidmarsh. But once again, the defence of Bryce is very, very good. Although he's not happy. He reckons that Kingston had the last touch. Although I think that his boot may have come across the path. And they're very clever, these players, but sometimes not so clever as they try and hoodwink the ref, thinking that their opponents have had the last play when the ref is generally, Katie, one step ahead of them.
Not all the time, I have to say. Not all the time. It does have sometimes. Not quite, I should say, but it's a Kingston playing with renewed confidence at the moment. They are causing just a bit of problems for the Knights now. They're starting to get into this game. Ball's played into the middle of the park. Well defended there by Jurčić to try and hold him off. But the ball is crossed long to the right side to Irwin. Looks to get the shot away again, but it balloons just across, not just, a long way across. Couldn't quite get that away again, but it's okay to try and take the shot on. Just try to make something happen out of nothing almost, but it's not quite happening for Kingston in that sense right there, as Jurkovic looks to play it out to Sewell again.
Sewell's been excellent down the left-hand side, into space, looking for his teammate to run onto that, and on that occasion not able to get there with Albano, the goal scorer early. Watson throws it back to Sewell, back to Watson now, two opponents on him. Sewell again switching into the middle of the park. Been very impressed with Bryce's game, but he kicks into bodies again. Bryce, though, heads it down. Headed on once more by Offley. Down to Watson. Watson running out of room. Very close to the byline. That's taken over the sideline. Good defence by Kingston, as they're defending quite nicely after a sluggish start, conceding a goal in the first couple of minutes. Sewell, not far outside the area, goes back to the middle of the park. Inside the attacking area to Offley, who's been pretty good. And now a good chance for Franjic. But unfortunately for him, his pass is astray. Now Kingston get on their bike. Unfortunately for Etheridge, he's got about three opponents to try and beat. And he gets overwhelmed by numbers down that right-hand side. Good defence again by the Knights. And it goes over the sideline as they get it inside their attacking half. Once again off the bodies of Kingston. So they've certainly had far more possession. They've been the better side so far. And they should be in front, but it is 1-1, close to half-time. Back inside their attacking half. Once again, trying to get boot on ball, but not able to do that, was Albano, or decent boot anyway. And at the back, it'll be cleared up by Hatzakoutas, who's done a good job as goalkeeper tonight for the Kingston team. Long ball inside the attacking half, headed down by Etheridge, the sole striker at the moment, generally been outnumbered in contests. Back inside the attacking area with ease for the Melbourne Knights through Watson, but he can't get any boot on that. And it's put back again by Kingston through Jovanovic. And then it goes over the side. Once again in possession at halfway, Sewell for the Melbourne Knights. Just a few minutes left in the first half. Sewell again. Lobs it to Watson. Watson, nice ball. Albano's at the top of the box, but he can't control it. Good defence again by Kingston as they put it over the sideline, and they had to. And that again came from the big boot of Fedahadic, who did a great job on that occasion to clear long. He's been pretty solid down back so far tonight for Kingston in this first half, but the score was locked at 1-1. So Sewell to Albano. Had bodies all over him then. Sakazada, who's a big body too for Kingston, pushing and shoving. Here's Watson coming out to meet him though. The other way is Hatzakoutas, the goalkeeper. That was a good contest too. Could have nearly been a collision like there was down the other end earlier. But Hatzakoutas attacked it hard, knocked it away from danger. But once again, it's over the sideline for another throw for the Melbourne Knights. Sewell again, turned over by Sakazada. Sakazada under the pump, has to go wide out to the left-hand side. And building is Suleiman. Tried to find Tidmarsh, who couldn't control it on halfway for Kingston. And now Albano to one of the better players on the pitch, the captain Uskoch, who slipped over. But he'll take a free kick. He slipped over because he was shoved in the side. Although not sure that there was much of a free kick in that one, Katie.
Didn't look like it, as we're in the last moment of stoppage time here. Might be the last kick of the half, but goes short. Bit of slow build up, the last attack of the half, you have to think. And it's it'll be the last corner of the half as well, with Albano doing well to hold off a player there. Bit of huff and puff here from the Knights, trying to blow the Kingston wall down here, but they're standing tall as the ball comes in. At the back it drops, but nothing of it as Kingston forced to clear again for another corner with Sewell to take.
Sakazada, another big body doing a good job. The Afghan-born player, part of this Kingston team. And Sewell, whose corner kicks have generally been pretty good. Maybe not enough curl, not enough depth. This one is to the top of the 10-yard box. It is headed away. It's cleared again by Suleiman, and that is half-time. And they're a bit frustrated, the Melbourne Knights. They scored in the second minute, and they had plenty of other chances through Albano. And then against the trend in the 29th minute, unfortunately for the Melbourne Knights, their goalkeeper got caught off his line as he endeavoured to make a couple of saves, which he did on a couple of occasions. Harry Karkaram did a wonderful job, but then he was caught off his line, and they combined nicely inside the area and also the box, Kingston, and it was tapped in, all on his own in the 10-yard box, of course, by Etheridge. So Etheridge was able to level in the 29th minute. So it's 1-1 between Kingston, the 13th place Kingston, and away game for them, doing a pretty good job against the Melbourne Knights, who you would have thought at the start of the year would have penciled this one in, and to stay in the top three and certainly in the top four. These are games they can ill afford to drop, and they've already dropped the game to one of the bottom teams in South Melbourne, Katie.
Absolutely right. Very well point, very well made by yourself. Big second half to come. Massive second half. The Knights, of course, looking to stay in that top three, looking to keep track with them, but a massive 45 absolutely still to come here. Don't miss it. We'll be with you right after the break.
Welcome back to Summer Street, to the Knight Stadium. And Melbourne Knights formed back in 1953, very successful team, particularly in the 90s was their halcyon days. In the National Soccer League, they won 2 titles and made 3 grand finals. Great players like Steve Horvat, Mark Viduka, Andrew Marth played with the Knights in those days when it was a much different competition. Katie and I were talking about it off air before. Dan Lonigan and Katie Lambeski with you. Still very much got the Croatian heritage, but of course football clubs have changed nowadays, and we're embracing, I suppose, different cultures all the time in all football clubs, which is fantastic. As a through ball will be mopped up at the back for the Kingston team as we start the opening minute of the second half. It's 1-1. Can't see any subs at the moment, Katie. I don't think either coaches have made any moves just yet.
Not that I can see just yet. There's still a few options, though, for both coaches, Mickey Cholina for Melbourne Knights and for Nick Tolios of Kingston. Of course, Cooper Legrand, Anthony Ancello. Some decent options off the bench for Kingston, while you have the likes of Anthony Dužel and Marijan Svitkovic on the bench for Melbourne Knights. So a few cards up the sleeve for both coaches to potentially call on later in the game.
So long ball over halfway for Melbourne City, and now there's a through ball coming a mile out of his goal to clear, and doing a wonderful job was Harry Ketcherum, the goalkeeper of the Melbourne Knights. He came a mile out from his area, and if that had gone past him, it was going to be a goal. He just took it on, and it succeeded for the Melbourne Knights. Won't always succeed, but it did then. Albano, very clever. Look away pass to Sewell. Now into midfield inside the attacking half, but not able to take it cleanly. It was Offley. Now it's down the right-hand side. Long ball, too long for Etheridge, and it'll be cleared at the back again by Kaklerum, who does well to bring it out. And that's a nice little pass. Came from Jurovic, and now getting possession, but offside from Franic. His teammate Offley was offside, and it'll be cleared in the defensive half by Kingston. Opening couple of minutes of the second half, it's 1-1. And looking to try and control the ball, Tidmarsh, but he has to go back to Fedegadic, and he goes back to the goalkeeper, who's been very, very good tonight in Katsakouras for the Kingston team. They've had just the one win so far this year. It was a good win against South Melbourne as well, who actually caused an upset against the Melbourne Knights, which for them, with such a fierce rivalry with the Knights, it'd be like Essendon beating Carlton when they're miles behind them on the table, and vice versa in the AFL. So we're at halfway again. And looking to try and control it is Theo, a recent addition to this Kingston team. The ball comes out now to Tidmarsh. Tidmarsh down the left-hand side. Deft little pass. Kick over the head again, but controlled at the back, and they've got numbers at the back in Juric, and Juric does well to ensure it goes over the byline. And also involved in the exchange for Kingston was Ved. No Ved, born in Iran. And they're going down the left-hand side now, the Knights, in front of the grandstand. 1-1. They're beginning a little bit nervous, particularly in the Mark Viduka Lounge. Very famous figure in Australian football. The halfway mark now. And that's a nice setup by Saxtadar. He gets it inside the attacking half and under tremendous pressure, but putting it over the sideline. There was bumping, there was pushing, there was shoving, and he was trying to find a way through. Was Ved at the top of the area, but couldn't do it for Kingston. And it will be a Melbourne Knights ball, but they're doing plenty of attacking. Kingston early stages of the second half. They're having a lot more possession than they did in the first half, Katie.
And making more of it too than I think they did in the first half. It's some promising signs so far. A chance to sort of lock themselves in their attacking half there, as we'll look to see another stoppage here. A free kick for Kingston. May look to send this one long into the box. But have come up against a pretty good keeper in Chakaruan, by the way, in goal for the Knights. He's made some very good saves. He's very capable of coming off his line as well. A very well-rounded keeper, able to play out, able to come off his line where he's needed to try and cut off space. He'll be challenged here, though, and Kingston send this one long and high.
To the far side by Tidmarsh, or the near side for us, the right-hand side, to be honest. Commentating in the old commentary box. Enjoying it immensely. Dan Lonigan and Katie Lambeski with you. As this a through ball to the dangerous Watson at the top of the area. But good defence again. And they're delighted. They're chuffed, the Kingston defence, because Watson could have turned his opponent inside out and he basically kicked into him. He took the wrong option and it allowed the defence to get onside and to get right behind it on the edge of the area. And the Melbourne Knights supporters are furious. And there's a player down inside the defensive half of the Melbourne Knights. He's hurt himself, Franjic. Is he coming off? Might be the first substitute being made. He's trying to walk it off, I think, at this stage. He's okay at the moment, I think. His brother Ivan involved in a semi-final in the A-League this weekend against Adelaide United, as Melbourne City got a very good record in the semi-finals. It's just getting past the preliminary finals for them to get into a first ever grand final, which they haven't yet achieved. Ivan's got a good record playing in grand finals with the Brisbane Roar as well. They've had a horrible year in the A-League, but have got former EPL star Robbie Fowler involved, of course, with them for next season as the manager. So they're looking to defend and go forward once more, the Knights. And they have it again. Good play to bring it to ground level. Albano. And combining nicely with Franic. And now at the top of the area, the very big figure of Uskosh. Back to Franic again, 5 metres out of the area. He goes way too high. Ballooning shot, miles over the crossbar. And an aimless shot, really, from a long, long way out. And didn't cause the goalkeeper in Katsoukaris any concerns whatsoever. And he can set up again for Kingston. And 52 minutes into this match. It's 1-1, goals in the 29th minute to Kingston and the second minute in the first half to the Melbourne Knights.
Kingston starting this off with a lot of momentum. There's a mix-up at the back here. Will they score? It's back into play. Zubair goes for the shot again. Sewell nearly clears off the line. So close for Kingston there. Early pressure on and some warning signs here for the Knights as Kingston look to continue to pressure on, so close to taking the go-ahead goal there. Massive second half still to play out here.
I just wonder whether Ketcherin is going off the line way too often. He's really flirting with danger as the Knights have a chance now through Watson, who just shoved his opponents out of the way with ease. He's looking to get through, but the big figure of Fetagadic does magnificently to set his teammates alight. Now Zved down the right-hand side had way too much on it, and it goes over the sideline, but it was a promising move inside the attacking half at the Social Club rooms here at Knights Stadium in Sunshine for Kingston, who are doing most of the attacking inside the first 10 minutes of the second half. It's 1-1. And again, they have it at halfway. Fetagadic has been terrific tonight, the big fellow. But again, Knights have numbers through Bryce, who's done a good job, and he gets a bit of support as well on that occasion from Gergic at the back inside the defensive half of the Knights. Asul's on the ball now, and a long through ball. But again, they've got numbers at the back, Kingston, but putting it over the sideline. That was a bit of a panic shot, really, and it came from Fetagadic as he had an opponent on his hammer, and he really couldn't do anything else, or so he thought, but he's given the Melbourne Knights a gilt-edged opportunity here with a corner kick, of which Sewell's been very good with them tonight. Only thing is a bit more elevation, a bit more curl probably required. That's a good one. It's a deep one, but goes across the face of it to the near post and eventually floats over the line for a throw. Right where the byline and the sideline meet. I'm going to call that the tree end of, because there's beautiful trees behind the goals at that end of Knight Stadium as I get to know this stadium, Cody. Wonderful rustic old stadium. Great to be here tonight as, again, they build from the back. Kingston down the right-hand side. Tidmarsh now looking for a pass. Goes wide again. This is a promising move as they get numbers back inside the area to try and stop. Again, good defence at the back by the Knights team. Jurkovic does well to get boot on ball, but again it's put over the sideline by Tidmarsh, who's been pretty busy so far as it was switched to the near side, and it will be a Knights ball with a score at 1-1 in the 56th minute. Going down the line, intercepted. Sakazada keeps it inside the attacking half for Kingston. Theo, a little ball to Tidmarsh, has been clever. Nice ball, Etheridge. Pass back to Etheridge, but he was offside as he kicked into the body of the oncoming goalkeeper who came at him on that occasion in Catcherham. Did a pretty good job. He has been game to come off his line tonight. And to take them on, Harry Catcherham. And there's going to be a change, the first one of the evening. It's going to be a Melbourne Knights change. And the player coming off for the Melbourne Knights is going to be Ivan Grgic. And coming on will be Martijan Civitkovic. It'll be a handy addition to this side. Is it like for like, Katie, or are they two totally different players?
No, it's definitely an attacking change. You see Ushkok push a little bit further back now, and Cvitkovic there able to be that, I guess, a more creative attacking outlet. Ushkok to screen in front of the back four, replacing Ivan Grgic in that field. As Albano comes across, can't quite control it past the defenders. Hatzikortis claims it at the back there. But yeah, I like the change a lot. It's a great move from Mickey Cholina just before the hour mark here at Knight Stadium. It's definitely an attacking change and opens things up with just a little bit more. Just that provides that little bit more attacking support for Watson and Albano up front.
Yeah, they just need to do something a bit more differently. They've become a bit predictable. And the ball is at halfway. And Cvitkovic gets involved now. Comes down the right-hand side, very close to the sideline, trying to cut inside under pressure. Albano, he lost control of it. It's cleared again by one of the best men on the ground in Fedegadic for the Kingston team, and they bring it out to the right-hand side. They're looking to build once more. And again, a high ball which misses by a long way to that far side. Near the far post. Running out of room coming down that right-hand side, looking to cut inside and couldn't. Sewell had cut off the angle nicely. And sure, they had to shoot from a long way out and just outside the area. So it's still 1-1. And this would be a massive result for Kingston if they could secure their third draw of the season. Low, flat kick. Back into play. It's headed down by Kingston, well inside the attacking area. Coming off his line and coming outside the area to foot it away is Catcherham, the goalkeeper. And now they have to go back, and a player's put down. There was a clumsy tackle, and Jurkovic will be the recipient of the free kick in front of the grandstand at Knight Stadium with his team in their defensive half, and at 1-1. Back to Sewell, who's been good, but he kicks into an opponent who puts it over the sideline, and that was Ved, and Sewell will get another crack at it again. He's been very productive tonight in his role in the midfield. Little pass. Ushkok had it turned over again. They're turning it over a lot, Kingston, and keeping it inside their attacking half. They've certainly had much more possession and ensured that they've kept the Knights' defence pretty honest in this half, Katie.
They have. I think they're falling still in a little bit to the same trap as the Knights are. Not quite able to make the most of that final ball. Not able to make the absolute most out of the possession they've had. They've been pretty well matched tonight. Both sides. Kingston have definitely shown up and have put the effort in. They continue to look for the go-ahead goal. That equaliser has done wonders for them. Was a massive goal. I think we'll look back on that as a real turning point in this game. But still a long way. Still a lot of football still left to be played here tonight. As Knights look to play it through, but Hatzi Cortis is off the line there to reset for Kingston.
Kingston now have it inside their attacking half. Etheridge has had a couple of opponents to beat tonight, and two Knights players go down, but then they come up with it. This is magnificent play by, on that occasion, Bryce. He was down and just about out, and he got up and burst his way through, but then had his pass turned over as they were trying to get it long and wide, and on the switch, Kingston and Zved again couldn't keep it alive. It's over the sideline, so it's inside the defensive half, and Melbourne Knights in possession here at Knights Stadium in Sunshine. 1-1 as the ref has a chat to a few of the Knights boys. They're not happy with a couple of the decisions. Corey Sewell's told to go away. And the substitute also having a decent chat. He's not happy, Svitkovic, with the situation as well. So a floating ball to the halfway mark. Cleared back and put over the sideline again. Well, almost put over the sideline, but good play by Etheridge to really hustle and bustle, forcing the goalkeeper, Catcherham, off his line. And in the end, he put it over the sideline. So it's inside the attacking half for Kingston. Tidmarsh, though, he turns it over at midfield, but Offley didn't have enough support. Now, here's a chance if he can get decent possession in Sakazada. And he wasn't able to, but he has his teammate helping him out down the right-hand side. Now they can press. Tidmarsh back inside the area. Turned over by Sewell. Svitkovic now has it for Melbourne Knights, but he'll be challenged from behind. Sakazada does well again, but the defence at the back very good for the Knights. And Yushkok finds Svitkovic, who's been pretty busy since coming on as a sub, but they're turning it over, both teams. Left, right and centre. It's very messy at the moment. Tidmarsh now gets possession. He heads it down at halfway but loses control. But he puts a lot of pressure on a couple of opponents. He started up an opponent, Bryce, on that occasion. And now it'll be cleared by Urich. And Urich turns it over at halfway as there's a bit of pushing and shoving behind the play because Bryce didn't like the treatment he received, and the ref has got to try and put out these spot fires here, Katie. We don't see it very often.
It's a bit of how you doing between both sides, a bit of handbags, but eventually you can definitely see the tension starting to rise a bit more. That intensity starting to rise, that pressure starting to rise in both teams, and who responds to that the best will decide a fair bit of the way this game turns out. We'll explain a lot of the end result here.
A couple of the supporters getting into it too. Apologise for the language and our coverage. Football Federation Victoria of the match. It's a passionate game, football, between Melbourne Knights and also Kingston. And the ref and the assistant refs having a chat. Do you think there might be a couple of red cards dished out here?
Perhaps a few warnings, perhaps a few yellow cards dish out, try to regain control of this, trying to sort this out, a bit of consultation here.
I think the crowd getting a bit fired up too. Maybe the yellow card should be given to them. There's a small contingent of Melbourne Knights supporters below us here in our commentary box. There's a yellow card given. Tidmarsh has got his second yellow, so he's off. So they're down to 10 men. That won't help them. Although we've seen plenty of football teams over the years win matches or survive with 10 men, haven't we? They've got an opportunity to try and do that, and I think our supporters below us, they can calm down now. The result's gone their way. Just getting a bit passionate here at Knight Stadium. And a football venue over the years where it has got a bit passionate, but that's why we love it. So it makes it a bit tougher now for Kingston. How do they work it out now, being down a player? I mean, lots of football teams, as we've said, Katie, over the years have been down a player. Some have even been down two. It makes it a lot harder when you're down two. But down one, you just work out a way, don't you? I'm sure they practice for it and they train for it as well, don't they?
Agree. How you respond to 10 men. Look, for some teams, that's the opposite effect. For some teams, going down 10 men focuses teams more, and it allows them to sort of, I don't know, find another level of concentration and just that physicality. So, but with the Knights at home, they'll look to press the advantage now. They'll look to press their one-man advantage and try to turn the screws on the Knights here. It may affect the way Kingston attack on the counter, may affect some of the chances they'll be able to get, but we'll be interesting to see how Nick Tolios responds on the bench with a substitution. As Kingston look to break forward here, and it's Zwed.
Yeah, there's a big opportunity for Sved, but again, good defence at the back, inside the area by the Melbourne Knights. And Urich has done a very good job there to come across his bows, just as Sved was bursting down the left-hand side inside the area. But they're under a bit of pressure now, the Knights, although they've got the extra man, as we've mentioned. Tidmarsh, his second yellow, which means he's off for the rest of the match. And we'll miss the next one now. And he's been... It makes it a bit tougher. So Sewell, down the left-hand side, turned over again at the back. He's been good, and we've sung his praises all night. Fetadic at the back has been superb for the Kingston team, playing as a centre-back. Don't know what they would have done without him as they try and build again through Svitkovic. The only sub who's come on so far, Bryce, had it turned over again by Fetadic. And now here's Beveridge, his pass inside the attacking area. And it's going to be a free kick, a late whistle, but a free kick to go the way of the Kingston team. And the player that was brought down was Anthony Theo, who's been very lively in his role as a midfielder tonight. He won't take it, of course. It'll be the dead ball specialist in Daniel Bennett, who scored one goal. Goes high and coming right across the path to ensure that the tall figure of Sakazada couldn't get near it. He was right on the edge of the 10-yard box on the left-hand side, but parrying it away and forcing a corner kick was the tall figure of the goalkeeper, Kakaram, for the Melbourne Knights, who's been very good tonight. I think at times he's been a bit too brave, to be honest. In fact, it wasn't a corner kick, it's a throw-in, but it's 2-on-1 against the Kingston team, but now they make it 2-on-2 and eventually conceding over the line. And I think this time for a corner kick was the defender in Luke Urich for the Melbourne Knights. So they've certainly had nowhere near as many corner kicks, Kingston, compared to the Melbourne Knights. But they get an opportunity now, Kingston. And many of the corner kicks have occurred in that corner. Zved with it. Let's see how he'll go. He'll go long and deep and curl, but a magnificent take by Catcherham again, right in the heart of the area. And then it's pushed too fiercely over the sideline. Putting too much into the kick was Chris Irwin, who's been a bit quiet in this half, was very prominent in the first half. And again, Melbourne Knights in possession. But it's 1-1. We're in the 68th minute. As the crowd underneath us here starts singing. I'm not sure what they're singing. As Svitkovic has the ball now to Sewell, heading out to the left-hand side. Now here's a chance for Offley. Offley goes in, but he didn't get enough on the kick. It rolled along the carpet, and it's comfortably cleaned up at the back. He hasn't had that much to do in this half, by Hatsakuris. He does a good job again as the goalkeeper for Kingston. Conceded a goal in the second minute. Since then, it's been very good. Long kick well inside the attacking area. Headed down and cleared by Jurkovic. Down to Sewell, who's been very good on the left. Lobs a kick. Pass comes out. Good play Offley. And then running out of room. Not able to do much on that occasion. Albano. The defence has been pretty good by Kingston. After a sluggish start, they've certainly found their way and they've been well organised at the back. Headed by Fedegadic. And it'll be taken right on halfway at 1-1. And we're in the 71st minute. And obviously if Kingston can get a draw out of this game, they're the winners tonight, you'd think.
Yeah, look, any point on the road is a good point, absolutely. But at the same time, there's not that much games for you to sort of play with to avoid that sort of relegation zone. You really have to start winning games if you want to look at potentially sealing your place in the NPL. It is an intensely competitive league this year across all levels at the table. It's gonna be tough for them to stay up in my view. But there's a chance for three massive points here tonight to keep themselves up and try to get some sort of momentum going. And so the Knights seem to look increasingly frustrated here.
Well, they came up in 2016, just stayed up in 2017 and finished 6th last year. On the back of Yakonis, scoring 11 goals. He's only scored 3 so far this year. There's a turnover and bursting down is Bennett. Goes for a pass out wide now, looking to try and set something up. And they weren't able to. Down the right-hand side. And again, good defence by the Knights. But there's going to be a corner. It's interesting the way they set up for the corner. More spread out. A couple at the top of the area. And there's a player down in the middle of the park as well. In some trouble for Kingston. Not good at all. Already down, of course, one man. They'll have to make maybe another substitution in a minute. And Theo looks to be in some trouble. He's limping at halfway. It's going to be a Kingston ball, another corner kick. They're getting their fair share of corner kicks in the second half after that start was dominated by the Knights in the first half. It's 1-1. This is going to be a long extra time at the end of injury time as they're going to make their first substitution tonight, Kingston. So Chris Irwin comes off, and this goes to the edge of the box, and it's headed away by Yushkok, who's down there doing a lot of good defensive work, playing as a holding midfielder. He finds Offley. Offley's pass, though, is turned over again at halfway by this solid Kingston defence, who've got better and better the longer the night has gone. Now on his own, he just remains on side, is Etheridge. He's under pressure. He has to go back because the defence is good by Melbourne City, forcing him away as he couldn't cut inside. Receiving close to the line is Zvard, and then it goes over. Again, good defence by the Melbourne Knights. So change there, Chris Irwin coming off. And who came on, Katie?
That was Ali Suleimani coming on for Kingston. And also another change, I believe we have Anthony Theo making way for Anthony Yancello. I think that injury may have got the better of him there. 2 changes made by Nick Tolios for Kingston.
Thanks, Katie. As G. Watson, I thought, was brought down from behind, and there's going to be a card given. That's a yellow card given. As trying to burst his way through was Fedegadic. He was at the halfway mark, and he was put down from behind. No doubt about that. I thought the Hamish Watson tackle was clumsy as well, but that one was a bit more severe. But I just wonder whether the ref has lost control of the match a little bit in the second half, with some of his decisions being a little bit indecisive and slightly inconsistent.
Potentially, not a bad shout by you at all, Dan. Again, you really got to sort of maybe call a few fouls, maybe nip it in the bud, sort of things earlier before it happens. But as this game enters its final minutes, it has been stop-start for most of this game. A few fouls, a lot of set pieces as well, but some intriguing tactical play as well throughout. Definitely a mixed bag of a game, but a massive last 15 minutes to come, with Kingston don't look phased at all by being down to 10 men. They've reacted pretty well. They've been able to sort of, control, have a bit of possession, and also be able to take themselves forward as well. A really good response from Nick Tolios' side.
They've done a great job. They've kept their shape, haven't they? Turnover. They Franjic inside the attacking half, but he was shoved down as he got boot to ball. Turnover. Here's Zved again. Zved is very quick down the left-hand side. He had the pass almost knocked away. Heads out now to the right-hand side. Kingston building, approaching the area. Back to Zved at the top of the area. He's brought down with a lovely tackle in front. Good defence again by Jurkovic, but losing control of it once again, the Knights at the back, even though they've outnumbered Kingston. But that shot at goal misses by a long way to the right-hand side. Again, no harm done for the Melbourne Knights, but they're under a bit of pressure, even though they're 11 on 10 at the moment. It's 1-1. They scored in the second minute, and then in the 29th minute against the trend, a terrific goal when Catcherum was off his line, knocked in by Etheridge for Kingston.
Looks to be another change here by the Knights. Looks to be AJ Inia coming on, the youngster. We'll just confirm that in a moment. And that's confirmed. It's in and making way is Luke Juricic for the youngster AJ Inia. Of course, a youth product of the Knights, came through their under-20 setup and has made his way into the senior team, continuing to earn himself senior minutes as well, which is quite impressive. Interesting to see what he can conjure up here in these last 15 minutes or so. Knights need something here. It's Watson in a battle here, one-on-one. Brilliant defending there, but it goes long to clear, and Etheridge is the target up front. Bryce goes to clear.
It's been the issue. They've broken down up front a bit, haven't they? It's been predominantly Etheridge or bust, hasn't it? They really haven't had enough other targets, have they? But I'll tell you what, if they didn't have Fedegadic, and we've spoken about him, how well he's performed all night, they might have been in some trouble. Very big body, has done a great job at the back, and nothing has fazed him at all. Even the ball was coming in constantly in the first half. It slowed down a bit, the delivery in the second half, as it's headed away right on the edge of the halfway line. Good play by, on that occasion, Jovanovic. Another tall figure for Kingston. And they're going to gain possession again in front of the grandstand here at Knight Stadium. And time is running out. We're in the 78th minute. It's 1-1, although I think there'll be a fair bit of injury time. As again, some bodies get involved as the Kingston team were looking to try and curl it in towards a dangerous spot in the area or on the edge of the 10-yard box. And once again, they win possession. Kingston off a couple of bodies from the Knights for yet another corner. And they've had, as I say, the majority of corners in their second half in this match. Round 11 of the Men's Victorian Premier League. Dan Lonigan and Katie Lambeski with you from Sunshine, from Knight Stadium. Attempted header, but getting up way too early and getting into the back of his opponent. I think he was trying to take a specky in AFL footy. He mistimed his run on that occasion, and it didn't quite come off for him in Sakazada. Wasn't a bad corner kick, though. It came in his direction on that left-hand side, but it just had too much elevation and he went up way too early. I don't think the ball had even left the boot when he thought, I'll have a go at this one. But the idea was there, Katie.
It was. Tried to send it deep and tried to cause a bit of trouble there at the back post. Of course, you have that presence of Zaki Zada there at the back post trying to launch it ahead. As Franich looks to tee up Watson here with the cross. Great contest again. Another very well defended. They've played Watson very well tonight. Have the Kingston back four. As you mentioned, Feta Hagic has had an outstanding game in defence and sort of led the way. As Kingston will enact their third and final change tonight. Looks to be number 23, Cooper Legrand, another youth product out at Kingston, replacing Moad Zved, the winger, as well. A bit of fresh legs in attack, a sort of like-for-like substitution. Legrand can play either on a wing or as a striker as well, so it's a handy sub there, made by Kingston. Bit of fresh legs, a chance to sort of run at the Melbourne Knights defence late on in this game as time continues to tick over here at Knights Stadium.
It sure does. Watson, he's got the defenders hanging all over him like a cheap suit. He got it down in the direction of Franjic, but it's turned over once again. Kingston down the left-hand side, but that goes over. And again, it's taken at the halfway mark by the Knights. Sewell combining with Svitkovic and also involve Jurkovic, but a turnover again in defence. Good play by Kingston down the right-hand side. Legrand will get his first touch. He goes inside. There's a player brought down. There'll be a free kick for Kingston. And then there's a bit of pushing and shoving. And that's a real concern because, again, it was a poor tackle from behind. And it gives Kingston a chance. At 1-1, as they've done most of the attacking in the second half. Full credit to them because they're 13th on the table. They could have taken the defensive attitude and just parked the bus, couldn't have they? But they've thought, no, we want to try and win this game.
They've definitely taken the game on a bit more in the second half. It's definitely been a tale of two halves. If you look at it like that, I think the Knights really had a strong first half, and then Kingston started edging their way back into it slowly, just sort of chipped away and regained some momentum that they haven't really let up on as there's a long shot attempt there made. Kingston continuing to press, continuing to try and probe on the ball now. Yakonis has had a quiet night. He had a couple of shots then. He tried to get it out to Legrand, who's chopped off by Sewell, who's been his team's best player for mine tonight. And it's turned over to Svitkovic. Svitkovic of the Knights. And they bring it down the left-hand side again. They're looking to try and build, and they switch into the middle of the park, inside the attacking area to Franjic. Franjic gets it out the right-hand side, and one of the youngsters has got it now, and this is Inya, who's just come on. He's shoved off it, though, shoved off the line of it. He's a bit light at the moment, the young fella, and again, they'll burst their way through the middle. Kingston down the right-hand side, but he is offside. Cooper Legrand, he was bursting away, ready to set up, and Etheridge was there as well. And unfortunately, he was offside just as he was ready to look dangerous again. It's been the last kick, particularly to Max Etheridge, that has let Kingston down tonight. But, gee, they've been gallant. Again, good play by Fetagadic to bring it down again with a lovely header. This is a chance for Legrand. He loses control of it, 3-on-1 against him at halfway for the Knights. Inside their attacking half. In the 84th minute, it's 1-1 here. As Kingston again build once more. The pass, though, had way too much on it, and it's cleaned up at the back by Kakarum, who's had a lot more to do in the second half than he did in the first half, the goalkeeper for the Knights. Ushkok, his pass is okay. He's been a bit quieter in the second half to the goal scorer, who has done a good job, though, for his team in Albano. He goes wide again, but they lose control. Again, they've turned it over way too much inside their attacking half, the Knights, in this half. Etheridge is on side on this occasion, but good defence at the back. Once more by Bryce. Brings it back to Kakarum. Kakarum decides to bring it out towards the near side. But again, good defence by Kingston. But Kakarum will tidy it up at the back. It's passed at close quarters to Jurkovic. Back to Kakarum, the goalkeeper. The edge of the area. Goes long again to
to the far side, but once again it's all Kingston, although in the road with the header is Sewell. Pass towards Etheridge, who's now onside as he arrives. He may be close in, he cuts inside, Sewell's with him, he's goal side Sewell, and Etheridge kicks into bodies as they concede another corner, the Melbourne Knights. But gee, they're under the pump at the moment, Katie. It's getting a bit tight for them.
Etheridge again putting on really a sort of hustle and bustling type of performance of a centre forward. A bit of a throwback in that way, a classic old classic number 10 in that sense, hustle bustle type of player, trying to make things happen, trying to hold the ball up and allow teammates space to work into. Nearly had the ground there open to play the ball into, couldn't quite get the pass away. As Kingston still look to probe here, they'll look to send in another corner. As the Knights look to be getting ready for another change, another option off the bench, warming up. The ball comes in.
It does come in, and it spills to the back. A chance to be picked up by Sexadata, but he wasn't able to get enough on it. It was just outside the 10-yard box on the left-hand side. He couldn't curl it around, and he hit the side of the net. So they're in possession again, the Knights. But once again, the defence of Kingston has been outstanding. They've taken the game on in the second half. Nice through ball by Bennett, who's been very good as a holding midfielder. Finds Legrand. He finds Etheridge again. He shoots Etheridge, but to the far post. A great save by Cackerham, who's been outstanding tonight. That had plenty on it from Etheridge, coming in from the right-hand side. But Cackerham saw that's where the ball was headed, and he did his best to get up and parry it over the byline for another corner kick. So the last sub, Katie, being made by the Knights with just a few minutes left. And coming on, Anthony Jussel. And he's replaced who?
He will replace Attila Offley in these final moments.
So maybe they've gone for a bit more defence. Attila Offley's been mainly an attacking player. It was a good corner. It was headed down by Kingston, but they didn't get enough purchase on it. Again cleared, and this is a chance for Inya. Inya's got a couple to beat, but again coming across his path. Magnificent defence at the back. He's been good, the big body of Saxon tonight. He's done a good job for the Kingston team. Kicking into bodies once more, and they're at the back, and they're having to try and slow it down. Here's an opportunity for the Knights. Svitkovic, he goes wide to Sewell. Sewell has it, still inside the defensive half, looking to build again the Knights at 1-1, and we are in the 87th minute. Beautiful ball down the left-hand side. And here's a chance for Albano. Albano cuts inside the area to the top of the 10-yard box. Vitkovic beats one. He beats a couple. Back to Albano. Albano kicks into bodies. Good defence again by Kingston, but setting up a wall at halfway is Yushkok for the Knights. And then it's put over the sideline by the urgent and desperate Kingston defence. And it's won back by Melbourne Knights. And the ball's thrown back into play. We've got two balls on the pitch. It'll have to be stopped, won't it? Here's a chance for Etheridge at halfway. Gets shoved down by Sewell. Turned over again. Here's an opportunity down the left-hand side for Svitkovic, but he kicks into bodies once again. Good defence by Kingston. A lot of urgency in this game. They try and take it down the right-hand side. Good pass once more, but they couldn't control it. Kingston over the sideline, and Melbourne Knights can take a breath, as can their supporters, many of them in the grandstand where the ball is at the moment on the far side of our commentary box. Svitkovic gets it down once more. Turned over though at halfway. Kingston a chance at the back. Once again, won by the Melbourne Knights. Svitkovic has been a very good substance coming on. His pass down the left-hand side, but that is offside. It is offside. Franjic was chasing, but he was well offside down that left-hand side. Running out of room, getting close to the byline, and it's still 1-1. And we are in the 89th minute. So Kingston might get out of this with a draw, and that'll be a great result for them. It'll be their third draw of the season after 5 disappointing losses in a row where they've conceded 16 goals. Nice to get a point on the board for Kingston, who've made a promising start to the year, which included their only win against South Melbourne. So Hatsakouris, long ball, well inside the attacking half for Kingston. Almost the last hurrah for both teams. Over the sideline. Kingston again, back inside the attacking half. Cleared at the back by Bryce. Volleyed it away, almost at halfway. Yushkok again on the ball, under pressure. Turns a couple of opponents inside out. Gets it back now to Albano. Albano out on the left. Knights looking for a way through. Long ballooning ball. Inya's on his own now. He traps it just outside the area. Has a couple of opponents to contend with. Back towards Watson. Watson now to the top of the area once again. Can't get through though. Opportunity very close to the line for Watson once more. He flicked it back, but he had two opponents around him and he just didn't get enough pace on it, and it stopped comfortably by Hatsakouros again, who's done a good job in goal tonight for Kingston. It's 1-1 and we're almost in the 90th minute.
Sort of tells you a little bit about Hamish Watson's game tonight. Has been played very well, I think, by the Kingston defence. Has been kept out of having his usual impact in games as Kingston look to break forward here in the box. The shot is blocked. Kingston look to set up again, but Bryce is there to clear. Just falls to a Kingston player again. Needed to do better there, but the cross isn't great. Etheridge is flagged offside. Confirmation there from the assistant referee that there will be 4 minutes of stoppage time added on here at Knight Stadium. What can happen in these last 3 minutes? Kingston have been putting on the pressure. Knights looking to make some moves here as well. Franich plays in Inia. Again, a great tackle, forces Inia back. Looking for options, still dribbling across the box. Takes a shot, it's low and just past the right post. But it looks to be a free kick here as a result of the challenge, and massive opportunity here for the Knights as the yellow card is shown.
Well, he was brought down just as he kicked. He missed to the left-hand side, Inya. I thought that was brilliant play by him. Another talented youngster. They don't mind blooding them young, do they? I know a couple of them, like Steve Horvat, he was blooded at 17. Viduka was blooded at 16. Senkovic was blooded at 15, I believe. You can add a few others to the list as well, and he looks like a talented young player. He was just cutting inside, and he has great pace and great vision. He probably could have a couple of decent feeds, Katie, I think, but that might take away his pace. But he was absolutely outstanding then, and he deserved that. So Sinkovic is going to be the dead ball specialist here. Big wall around him, only a couple of metres in front of him, right at the top of the area. He needs to elevate it over them, and the goalkeeper in Hatsakouros, he is covering the far post. He's covering the left-hand post. More than the heart of the goal. A chance for a late goal. Zinkovic kicks into bodies, gets it back, heads it again. Didn't do enough with that. Inside the area, it's headed and then headed away desperately by the Kingston defence. Once again, they've been superb tonight. Yushkok tried to get a header in there, didn't get enough on it, and that defence has held up really well after, as we said, they were a bit disorganised early on, allowing Albano against the trend to score that goal in the second minute. And then, of course, there was the response in the 29th minute by Etheridge for Kingston. Again, a low, flat corner ball, and the attempted header, as it was low and flat, just near the box, goes wide indeed. Yushkok, an excellent effort by the skipper. He saw it dipping, and it wasn't a bad effort, but it was just offline. So inside the injury time now, it's 1-1, and a big result coming up, you think, for the 13th place team going into this round in a very talented team in Kingston tonight, the way they've played. They've put it together up against Melbourne Knights, who are third on the table, 7 wins, 3 losses. And Kingston have defended brilliantly. It's been their issue, as we said, in recent weeks, conceding 16 goals, another yellow card. The ref is giving them out, left, right and centre. Is that because he's taking too much time?
Bit of time wasting, a bit of
Hatsakouros, yes. It's called professional play, but he's happy to take the yellow card. He goes long. Last chance maybe for the Kingston team, but it goes to the back, and Catcherham's there again to roll it out. Maybe the Knights have one more chance. Jurkovic goes into the middle, finds Sewell. Sewell out to the left of Franjic. Frangic now finds Albano. Albano lost control of it. He gets another chance now, but his pass goes across the goals after it was a deft little touch coming inside the area from the skipper, Yushok, who's been pretty good tonight as well. But Albano running a bit too quickly, couldn't control it. And again, no harm done as far as Kingston's concerned. They get another goal kick in the closing stages of this game, which is locked at 1-1 at Knight Stadium. So Hatzakouris to bring it back into play. Long and high inside the attacking area. And that is it. It's all over. It's a 1-1 result, a great result for Kingston FC, the team from South Clayton in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. They've come all across town to, well, a tough venue to play at. They don't lose too many games here, the Melbourne Knights. They didn't lose tonight, but they drew. They scored in the second minute, and then a great goal in the 29th minute by Etheridge levelled it up. And then both teams, they had a few chances, Katie, in the second half, but really it was a game where both defences were right on top.
Very good call. Defensively, both teams very, very sure. I think two of the best players on the field were defensive players in Corey Sewell and Aidan Fitahagic at the back for Kingston, and Corey Sewell, of course, for the Knights. Massive opportunity, I think, dropped for the Knights here at home. Massive opportunity to stay in touch with the top two, to make themselves seal themselves in that top three, that top four. Didn't quite work out for them tonight. A frustrating second half, I think, mainly in that first half. You know, a massive opportunity for them to, when they got in front early on, to really push on. They weren't quite able to do that, and Kingston were able to equalise. And have to say, Kingston were the better team in that second half. Didn't quite end up getting all 3 points, but they held tight, down to 10 men, of course. Held tight and were able to cause Melbourne Knights troubles. They, of course, Harry Shakarun at the back in goal for the Melbourne Knights, put off some great saves as well. But 1-1, have to say it's a tale of two halves, and a very even contest over 90 minutes, up and downs. Of course, that's what we love about football. But it's all even, and it's been great to call this one with you tonight, Dan.
Thanks, Katie. Lovely to have you as well. It's been a good contest. So 1-1, and if Oakley Cannons don't win their match, or at least get a point, it means that Kingston City will move up into 12th on the table. So that would be handy for them, because it's all about relegation this year, of course, in the top competition, and they've only been up in this competition 3 years now after being promoted back in 2016, and that result will help them tonight after, as we said, 5 disappointing weeks when they conceded a lot of goals and were thrashed. So a good result for them tonight, not so good for Melbourne City. 1-1 between Melbourne City and Kingston. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time for more football in the Victorian Premier League for the men in season 2019.